The purpose of this presentation is to review the project management plan document and to summarize the various aspects of the document. This review will be split into 5 sections which will cover the key features of the project management plan document. These sections include organization and completeness, technical, work breakdown, project milestones, testing and quality assurance. The first draft of the PMP produced by this group was successfully completed and was structured in an organized fashion. The PMP document outlined the approach that will be used by UG10 in undertaking the MESA mapping robot project. The PMP document discussed how the project was founded on the basis of designing software to allow the control over a LEGO Mindstorm's EV3 robot. It was identified that the robot was required to accurately map an area of interest at the top of a MESA, and that the mapping process would involve finding markings and creating a map according to various constraints. These points were structured and detailed in an appropriate way. The goals and objectives for the project were stated clearly in the scope of the PMP. They were explained in more detail in the project deliverables section. It was also stressed that the success of the project would rely on completing all specified functions noted in the SRS to the client's satisfaction. The roles and responsibilities for the project team were discussed, and the roles of the manager, developer, tester and analyst were examined in detail. The internal management structure was not discussed in the document, as it was explained at the poster presentation client meeting with the current structure listed on the poster. The managerial and administrative boundaries were specified in the project organization section. The activities of the project manager were stated as coordinating and motivating team members, creating and maintaining the project management plan, and assigning and managing the workloads of team members. The key assumptions and constraints were precisely explained to outline what the boundaries of the project would consist of. The main constraint discussed was that there were only approximately 14 weeks between the start and finish of the project. This restricted the freedom that the team had to design and implement the MESA mapping robot software. It also put into effect that some project tasks must be completed concurrently to save time and to reach the deadlines for the important deliverables, highlighting that the team would be highly dependent on all members in the group. The monitoring and controlling of the project was described, and the use of a set of project schedule and resource allocation tables were explained. A timesheet system was provided as a way to track the progress of the group. The use of these mechanisms would allow each team member to check which tasks were to be completed next and by whom. Finally, the use of a Gantt chart to view the overall progress of the project as a visual representation was specified. A complete list of all the documents and deliverables was displayed. It was briefly explained what the document or deliverable contained along with its expected completion date. The hardware and software tasks were considered and documented in the work breakdown, timesheets and Gantt charts. The decision on the combined waterfall and agile process model was discussed in great detail with the use of a process model diagram and other supportive evidence. This choice of process model enforced a methodology that is suitable for the project lifecycle. The tasks that need to be completed during the course of the project were divided into hardware, software and documentation activities. They were then combined to form an appropriate work breakdown structure to allow the visualization of the different components that make up this project. In the schedule and resource allocation sections, a unique identifier was given to each task in the project. For example, T1 for task number 1. This provides a simple and effective way of managing the workload of the team. The team members were assigned to the project tasks so they can understand which tasks they were expected to complete during the project lifecycle. Each task had a field called Team Members Allocated. This accurately outlines the team members who would complete the task. It was explained that over the course of the project, 6 fixed milestones would be reached after the required internal tasks had been completed. These fixed milestones included the completion of the SRS draft and review, PMP draft and review, basic movement and sensors, documentation activities, hardware activities, and software activities. The 2 additional group milestones were specified to be delivered by the team in week 9 and week 10. For each milestone, the tasks required to achieve were stated. Also, the acceptance criteria for each milestone was clearly explained to assist in the obtaining of the approval from the client. The testing strategy described in the PMP relied on finding any errors early and fixing them immediately. It was understood that errors could be located in any documentation, including simple errors, for example spelling mistakes, or more complex issues, for example documents contradicting each other. Also, errors could be found in the software itself, which needed to be rectified to achieve the requirements set out in the SRS. It was implied that the project would be viewed as a high-quality project if the product standards applied to the project were followed by each group member. In conclusion, the document explained the chosen waterfall agile process model combination as to why it was a suitable model for the project. The document also detailed both the project milestones and product standards. Overall, the project management plan was created with a high level of quality and successfully communicated the outline to be followed by the group throughout the project lifecycle.